fighting against the toughest, you're gonna become the toughest. If you're fighting in that environment, the toughest environment, you're gonna become that environment. So let's just get used to the toughest environment and let's go for it. Let's just make it happen. I'm the head professor here. I'm the head professor here. What the fuck is up, everybody? Happy Friday and welcome to another episode of Modern Day Warrior. Today we have a professional jiu-jitsu fighter, and her name is Elisabeth Clay in the building. What's going on, Elisabeth? I am so glad that you were finally able to make it here today.
Not much. Samuel just fought last week, but just staying busy, always all over the place.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I know you have like such an amazing journey. You know, I've seen you through the past in tournaments, like places, because I compete as well. And like everywhere I go, like major tournaments and stuff, you're always there. Or like if like I'm at a fight to win, you're there. You're just everywhere. And I'm like, so how long have you been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
For about 9 years now. So I started in 2012 in June.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So I thought you would be like starting, well, about 9 years. Okay, that makes about sense, you know, because you've done so much in such a short period of time. So where did you start your career? I know you're from Alaska. Mm-hmm. Yes. Where was the first school? What made you want to do jiu-jitsu? Were you pushed into it by your parents, or did you like want to do it, or how did that happen?
So I was a gymnast for about 10 years, and I've always had that like drive. Like I've always wanted to be the best at whatever I did, but I've always really liked like athletics and that type of thing. So I wasn't getting enough hours in gymnastics in Alaska, so I ended up like quitting because in my head like I wasn't gonna just do something if I was gonna suck at it.
Yeah.
So I ended up quitting, and I was actually looking at like diving or figure skating, so I wanted something that was like similar to gymnastics. And then one of my older brothers who ended up not even training at all, but he was like, I want to do MMA. I was like, oh, like I'll try part of it. Like I'll try jiu-jitsu. So like tried jiu-jitsu. I think I did like one class, and I was like, that's it. This is what I'm doing. Awesome. And like that was it. I haven't looked back since then.
Awesome. So jiu-jitsu is very addicting. You know, I grew up wrestling as well. So like I remember one of my professors telling me, hey, can I show you a couple like moves? And when he showed me a choke, I'm like, it's that easy? I go, I was hooked just from one choke he showed me, like an Ezekiel choke with a neck and the fist. I was like, God, that's so cool. Because, you know, being a wrestler, you just grow up wrestling, but there's a lot more to jiu-jitsu than just wrestling. It's like you got to have all angles covered, else you're going to get tapped for sure.
No, exactly.
Yes. Okay, so what school were you at in Alaska when you started?
It's just a really small school there that was actually run by he was a blue belt when I started training. So
okay, that's cool. Hey man, it doesn't matter if you're doing jiu-jitsu, you learn the moves. That's what's up. And then you trained with Ryder a couple years as well. We were talking about.
Yeah, so I didn't train there like consistently, but I would go up like probably like once a month. I would go up for a day or two just to train so that I could get better training in.
Awesome.
And so yeah, I know Ryder pretty well actually.
Yeah, he's such a good dude. Actually, he's one of my teammates. Shout out to Ryder, man. What's up, Ryder? I got to get out to Alaska and hang out with you guys and get rolled up and, you know, have some fun. So, okay. So where are you currently training at now? I know, is it in Modesto?
Yeah, it's in Modesto.
Okay, because and you're training under Samir.
Yeah, I'm there training under Samir Chantre. So I've trained under Samir on and off since I was like 18, so like 2018. But I've known Samir and been under Samir, under Aries.
Yes. Since
2016, I think. So for like 5 years.
Okay, wow. And Osvaldo.
Yep.
Yeah, another cool guy. Those dudes right there, like they got some of the most positive energy I've ever seen in jiu-jitsu. I mean, you know, jiu-jitsu produces a lot of positive energy, but those guys, they really stand out, and I respect them a lot. So you are hanging out and training under some cool people. I mean, I really like those guys. They're really cool.
You know, those guys are awesome. They've always treated me like really well. Like I said, like I've known them since I was like 16 and like been Aries since I was 16, and then like just having that, it's always fun to like go and like hang out with them.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that, just training and everything. So yeah, they're really good guys, have really good energy and all that.
And they got good jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like very, very, very good jiu-jitsu. A woman like you, when you wake up in the morning, you train so hard. What do you do to get your energy started? I mean, everybody, like, some people drink coffee, eat a sandwich or eat a granola bar. What does somebody like you do, like, to get going in the morning?
I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not a morning person. That is the hardest part for me is like getting out of bed. Once I'm like up, it's easy for me to like get going and pushing. If you see like I'll post all that like I'll be posting and I've trained like 3 times, then I went lifting and then like I went climbing and I'm doing all of this. So I think the hardest part for me is like getting up in the morning, but a big thing is like I just know I have to wake up and so I'll just like get up. I'm like, okay, it's time to go train. Get
Awesome.
up, get my stuff, and go train.
Awesome. So, of course, you coach. You're a coach or all that. You're a black belt. And do you just how many times a day do you train?
So anywhere from like 2 to 3 times a day, but if it's only 2 times a day, then usually I end up lifting as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll throw in some other stuff there. Like
Right.
sometimes I may be training more or whatever, but usually it's about 2 to 3 times a day.
Awesome. That is amazing. Yes. So, what do you got going on next? Like anything coming up like soon? Like any?
As far as like competition wise.
Yeah, yeah.
So my next one is actually pants. So I have a little bit of a quote unquote break. It's only like it's like a month out, so it's really not that much of a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as much as I've been like competing and fighting, I have a little bit of a break, which is probably a good thing because I actually just got results back on an X-ray that I actually broke my forearm about 2 weeks ago.
Really?
So yeah.
So you look good. You're like it looks like you're functionable, but it's broken.
Yeah, it's broken. So one of the bones is broken.
So you're not wearing a cast. You're just kind of letting it heal naturally.
So I just found out, literally. So I got the X-rays a couple days ago. I just found out that it's broken, like while I was driving, like maybe half an hour ago.
Wow.
So I will probably go get a brace on it tonight, just because everything's in place. Like it's broken, but everything like it should heal up well. But if it gets hit or jostled or anything like that, then they'll probably have to go in and look at it. So I'm just gonna go get a brace so that it stays in place. But
wow.
yeah, that actually I've been having like some wrist pain. I was rolling with a white belt.
Yeah.
Sorry, always.
And they're tough though. They're like they're the ones that are gonna go hardcore and you can get injured by.
It was one of those that like I was like, oh, like he's nice, chill, like not anything. So I was kind of like letting him work a little bit. And then he ended up like just like putting his knee on my fist and it just popped straight back.
Oh.
Like didn't bend, didn't anything, just popped straight back. And I was like, I'll get it looked at next week. Like I got a fight coming up. I'll get it looked at next week. I'm sure it's just strained. It's fine. And then like it was doing better and like still pain, but I was like, oh, I probably just strained it really bad. It's fine. And then I got somebody looking at it there, and I've had like 4 people tell me like, I think you should go get an X-ray. And I was like, yeah, fine, I'll get an X-ray, whatever.
Right.
Go spend the money. It's gonna be fine.
Right.
Get the X-ray. I was like, oh, it looks fine, but like I'll go send it to a couple people just to make sure that it's actually like getting looked at by someone that looks at X-rays all the time.
Right.
And then like get the call. It's like, your forearm's broken.
Wow.
Like, oh. Well, that explains all the pain, because I get like texting, I get like pain in here. Just being a baby. Oh, it's broken. Makes sense.
Wow. I'm sure you'll heal fast because you're healthy
Yeah.
and you train so much, you know.
Yeah, it breaks heal fast. It's about a 6-week thing. So it's about 2 weeks old right now. Everything's in place. So as long as I take it easy the next 2 weeks, I'll be fine.
Right. So when did you make the move from Alaska to America? Because I know you always flew out here to compete. You have to, right?
Yeah.
So when did you move to, California? Or when did you move wherever you moved?
So when I first moved, I actually moved back in 2018.
Right.
So I lived out here in Modesto as well. It's when Kishino was still out here as well.
Okay.
So I was training under Samir and Kishino.
Yes.
And I was out here for about 7 months.
Okay.
And my little brother trains as well.
Nice.
He was still back in Alaska. And he actually wasn't able to go to training as much as he needed to be because he didn't have a ride. So I actually ended up moving back home. Of course, I was homesick. There were a bunch of things.
Yes.
But I ended up moving back home mainly to be able to take him so that he could get training in. So then I ended up living there from the beginning of 2019.
Right.
Back in Alaska, 2019 to May of 2020.
Right.
And then that's when I got the opportunity and ended up actually go train somewhere in Texas. I ended up training there for about 2 weeks, and then I went over to one of our affiliates in Dallas. And then I ended up being in Texas for about 2 months in 2020, and then in July of 2020 is when I officially made the move back over here, back over to Modesto in California.
Awesome. I love Texas. Everybody's so cool there. It's they're so humane and welcoming.
Yeah.
And, over here in California, everybody's all stressed out, tripping all the time and shit. So
It's cost of living as well. Like, that has to affect things.
yeah. Everyone's stressed out.
You got to look at that. Like, that adds stress and all of that type of stuff. But no, it's definitely a different vibe. over there.
Yeah, I like it. It's kosher, you know. You hang out. Texas is cool. Shout out to Texas.
I'm actually originally from Texas.
Actually, my mom is too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so,
that's funny.
You know, I got the boots, the Wranglers. I know how to two-step, the Hano dance. I'm like all American. I'm like, I used to rap. I do all kinds of bullshit. That's just who I am. I like to have fun. Life is about enjoying everything. So, you know,
it is.
Yeah, that's what we do. So, yeah. So, how many tournaments have you done around? Do you keep track of that? I'm weird.
Oh, I have no idea.
You don't.
I have no idea at all.
I think I'm gonna stop keeping track too because I'm weird like that. I like keep track of it. I'm like I write them down and I'm that guy. I'm like, okay, I won, lost. No, I don't put lost. I learned. I never put lost. You know, I'm weird like that. I'm like I learned. I won. I lost. I thought you may have kept track, but you don't.
No,
that's cool.
No, the only thing that I didn't even realize like the IBGF keeps track of it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So I went on there, like, I was just, like, looking on there one of the days, and I was like, oh, man. So I was like, it was fun to, like, go back and be able to, like, look at stuff. But yeah, I have no idea how many competitions I've done. I know it's a lot, especially if you include like super fights in there and everything like that.
Oh yeah,
but I have no idea how many it is.
Yeah, that's a. You know what? I think I'm almost to the point where I'm gonna stop keeping track too. I'm like, man, I gotta stop.
No, I used to like write stuff down and be like, this is how I did it this one, just so that I so that I had like a record of it, and then it hit the point, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I compete way too much for this. Why am I writing all this down?
Yeah, me too.
I don't need all this anymore.
I'm over it too. I'm over that. I'm over the like keeping track and all that. I'm like, man, I'm so busy. Life is good. We're everywhere. We're competing everywhere. We got opportunities everywhere. So, yeah, it's amazing. Let me see here. Let's see. So tomorrow you're doing a seminar here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be at our school, and everybody is so stoked about that. We got people, hitting me up on the inboxes and stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, there's going to be people there, and to showcase your skill, it's going to be amazing. Yeah,
no, I love hearing that.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of our students and everyone around Central California, whoever's going to come out, is going to get an amazing seminar, and it's going to be a good thing.
Seminars are one of my favorite things to teach. Like, obviously, like, I teach regularly.
Yeah.
But there's such a different vibe in, like, a class versus, like, a seminar. A class is, like, and, like, I'm guilty of it, but, like, it's just part of the routine.
Right.
Like, you're going there because you have, like, you feel like you have to do it, and it's very, like, monotonous, and, like, you can feel that energy.
Yeah.
And, like, sometimes you'll hit, like, that really good class where everyone's on it.
Yeah.
And, like, you'll have that energy, but you always have that energy with seminars. Like, when somebody goes to a seminar, they're always super excited to, like, learn. So because of that, like, it makes it so much more fun to teach. And unless you teach, I don't think you understand that at all. Because I think there's some people, they don't, because I told some of the guys, and I was like, yeah, like, or some of the students actually, I was like, yeah, like, I prefer teaching seminars to day-to-day stuff. And they're like, because of the money? And I was like, no. I was like, it has nothing to do with that. There's such, like, a big, like, energy difference.
Right.
And, like, the seminars, like, everyone's so excited to be there. They're happy to learn. Like,
I love it.
It doesn't matter if they had, like, the most exhausting week ever. The energy that comes into a seminar is so much fun. And, like, it makes it so much more fun to teach that. And, like, so I think that's probably, honestly, in jiu-jitsu, one of my favorite things to do is, like, going to teach seminars. Because, like, the, like, energy and everything that you get when you're teaching them is so awesome. And so I'm just excited for tomorrow.
Exactly. And I always tell my students, I go, look, go to seminars, go train with other people. I don't care if you cross train, I'm all American. I don't play that. You know what I mean? I like to, just go out and train with people, have fun. And if you learn one thing from a seminar, then you won. You got your money's worth, because you're like, wait a minute. Like when I go to seminars, I'm like, wow, I learned one move. I'm like, I'm good with that. I'm all, I did it a different way, but they do it a different way. Their grip is a little different, this and that, and it just all makes sense. So, yeah, seminars are the way to go. I love teaching, too. I'm not going to lie. It's fun. I got to, of course, we have to. We're professors, so we got to lead by example. So, yeah. But one day I want to bring your professors down to do seminars. Like, they're definitely on my list to bring down because of their skill. I like them. So
yeah, that would be awesome. You definitely should.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. So, yeah, but yeah, life is good, and I think we're gonna, I think we're gonna call it right now, like this right now. So what's going on now is life is good, and it's Friday, and everybody on computer, TVs, and phones. Shout out to all of you. And before we fly this coop, Elisabeth, Do you want to give a shout out to anybody, your professors, your sponsors, anybody?
Just everybody who's always out there supporting me, all the fans, obviously, everybody I train with, just the people who are out there supporting me. You guys know who you are.
Exactly. And you know what? We got Elisabeth Clay right here in the flesh, and she's doing great, and her journey is amazing, and I'm sure we got a lot more to see of her. So, shout out to everybody that loves jiu-jitsu, and stay positive, and thank God it's Friday, and peace. If you're fighting against the toughest, you're going to become the toughest. If you're fighting in that environment, the toughest environment, you're going to become that environment. So let's just get used to the toughest environment, and let's go for it. Let's just make it happen. I'm the head professor here. I'm the head professor here.